So is the new one-of-a-kind Canon RF 24-105 f2.8 really worth the dosh? And should you be considering swapping out your RF 24-70 2.8 to get one of these? Or should you just save your dosh and not bother? Well, in today's video, hopefully, I'm going to help you find out. Hey everyone, hope you're all tickety-boo. This ain't going to be a nerdy spec-type video because you can go and find any of them. They've all been out on YouTube already, haven't they? It's just going to be a real hands-on view, or my view anyway, of whether or not this is worth keeping. By the way, you can see it there, so you can probably guess I have kept it. But if you've got any questions whatsoever, leave them in the comments down below. And if you find this useful, you know what to do. Give it the old thumbs up. So you know what we're going to be doing today, don't you? Because the clue's in the title. We're going to be comparing that awesome lens, the RF 24-70 f2.8, the one that stays on my camera most of the bloody time, against this new one-of-a-kind versatile lens from Canon, the RF 25-104 f2.8.
Every little bit helps.
But at the end of the day, if you're in the market for getting a really high quality lens that's versatile, gives you some decent reach and probably will stay on your camera for most of the time, then you're not going to be disappointed with either of these. So let's kick off with taking a closer look at the RF 24-70. It's a really well-known lens for its exceptional image quality and versatile focal range. It goes from 24mm up to 70 with that constant f2.8 if needed. It's one of the favourite lenses amongst professionals and enthusiasts, and it's been my workhorse ever since it was launched on the RF range. And prior to that, I had the Hieth version, and I even had that on my R cameras with the converter 90% of the time. It's perfect for low light shooting, portrait photography, and it captures stunning bokeh. Is that how you say it? I'm sure someone will correct me in the comments down below. If there was one thing they could improve on it, that would have been to have it as an internal zoom lens, because it just worries me with a lot of these Canon lenses or the new RF ones that have got the external zoom on there. I'm just worried that it'll get dust or grit and things like that in there. I haven't had a problem with them, but I do know some people who have. Now for that newcomer, the new kid on the block.
Hey, you're the new kid on the block.
The Canon RF 24-105 f2.4 is a bit of a big beast. Now, it may only seem that it's a slightly longer focal length, but it does make a big difference. As you can see here it is at 24mm, and here it is at 70mm, and here it is at 105. It definitely makes it more versatile, and in my eyes, it makes it that perfect lens for event photography. Having used it at a few events and for some client work, it was the only lens that I used on the Canon R3 throughout the whole day for every single photo, which meant I didn't have to change that lens or take other lenses with me. I did actually put them in a bag, but I didn't end up using them. So like I said, it's going to be an awesome lens for people who do events. It makes it an ideal lens for that wide variety of different things, doesn't it? Whether you're doing landscape photography, whether you're doing portraits, whether you're a travel photographer and things like that, it's going to be perfect to have that as the only one in your bag. And with that f2.8, it makes it really, really versatile, doesn't it, for low light photography and especially portrait stuff, because it has stunning bokeh on it, which looks even better with a compression of 105. So how do these lenses stack up against each other? Ultimately, it's going to come down to a couple of things, isn't it? The versatility of it and what you're going to use it for and things like that, plus your budget. So let's set aside the image quality, because at the end of the day, both of them are going to be awesome lenses, aren't they? The only difference is that probably the 105 is going to be a little bit better because Canon have had time to develop the lenses, haven't they? It's a lot newer lens and everything else, so you would expect it to be that way. And the nerds out there will be able to tell me the difference on that. When it comes down to low light performance, again, they're both f2.8 all the way through, so they're both going to be awesome at that. The only difference is the 105 has 11 blades, whereas the 70 only has 9 on there. That's going to affect the bokeh in some respect. And again, you know, as long as it's nice and blurry and looks good to me, it doesn't really matter. So in challenging lighting conditions, they're both going to be an awesome lens, aren't they? Build quality, again, for both of them, it's an L lens, isn't it? That's what Canon's renowned for, is the quality of their lenses. At the end of the day, it's solid as a rock, it's weatherproof. Both of them are absolutely superb lenses. The only difference being, obviously, is the 105's a damn sight heavier. But when they're both fully extended, there isn't much difference in the size of them, is there? But packing it in your bag, obviously the 24-70 is going to be easier to get in there or take up less room. But again, if you're only taking one lens with you, then I think the 105 is going to be better. So let's look at the extra things that set the 105 apart from the 70. Now, apart from the dosh that you're going to spend on it, the first thing, and I know I keep mentioning it, is that focal length, because there's going to be that time where you really say to yourself, do you know what, I wish I had that extra reach, and it will make a difference to you and save you switching those lenses. The other thing as well, which may only seem a slight amount, but 0.5 extra stabilization on it. And when I've been testing them, I can actually notice a difference in the photos. But again, when you've got the in-body stabilization on something like the R3 or the Canon R6 Mark II, yeah, you're not going to probably even need to worry about that. But if you're using slower shutter speeds and things like that, then it is going to be an advantage. And in relation to those close-up shots, although they're not advertised as macro lenses or anything like that, you are going to probably want to use it, aren't you? Especially, as I said earlier on, is if it's that one lens that you want to carry around with you everywhere. Now, this is where the 70 actually is probably slightly better. You can actually get a little bit close with it. At 24mm, you've got a minimal focus distance of 21 centimeters. However, when you extend that to the 70mm, it actually goes up to 38 centimeters. Whereas the 105 is constant all the way through, and it actually is increased to 45 centimeters. But the difference of that to me is actually the fact that you can focus in and out from 24mm right up to 105 and keep the camera in the same position. Whereas with the 24 to 70, you're going to have to be moving it in and out, and you'll probably get a bit of hunting, won't you? So again, I personally think the 105 is better for that type of photography. However, you may think differently. And when it comes to autofocus, I mean, at the end of the day, the Canon's friggin' awesome, isn't it? But this new lens, in my view anyway, seems to switch between subjects a lot quicker and actually is a bit stickier. So I don't know what they've done there, but to me, it definitely is a lot better at autofocus. But the 24 to 70 is still bloody good too. And then there's this other bit here, which can't compare with the 24 to 70 because it isn't on there. And I haven't got the little adapter on here that actually makes it automatic. But as you can see here, on the aperture ring, it's actually got the grooves here. Now this is only for video, okay? So what you don't want to be doing is thinking you're using the aperture on or you're using photo mode, which could be a bit awkward, couldn't it? Especially if you're switching between photo and video. But as you can see on here, there's a couple of terminals where you'll actually bolt this piece into. And what it allows you to do then is automatically zoom in and out to keep that smooth zoom in. Now the thing with that is, even though it's a nice smooth movement here on the focus rings and things like that, it'll actually be really, really good for video. And that's what this lens has been designed for at the end of the day, to be a photography lens and aimed at that video market. And again, like I said, I think it's one of a kind. There doesn't seem to be any other lenses like this on the market. But that unit is going to cost you a few extra bucks. In fact, this is how much it's going to cost you extra. There'll be a few of you out there saying, well, I could probably buy two Lumix S5 Mark IIs for that, Heath, and a lens. So maybe Canon should be thinking a bit about their prices. But at the end of the day, personally, I think if you can afford it, then I would definitely choose the 24 to 105. However, if budget is an issue and you're not worried about that extra focal length, then a 24 to 70 is going to be that perfect lens for you. And like I said, you ain't going to be disappointed with that because it's a hell of a workhorse. As I said earlier, if you've got any questions whatsoever, leave them in the comments down below, or tests and things like that you want me to do. I hope this has helped you decide which Canon lens is best for you. If you've really enjoyed this as well, you know what to do with that old usual YouTube stuff. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're interested in more reviews or some photography tips and out and about stuff and things like that, which we're going to get more done this year, especially with some other YouTubers. Aren't we sad now it's stopped raining? Anyway, have some fun. Get out there, start shooting some photos and have some bloody fun. And above all, keep smiling. See ya.